So hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of our quarantine talks. Hope you guys liked the first one, so we decided to bring it back for another episode. Today on the show, a very special guest, a really good friend of ours. You might have seen him in one of our other interviews that we did. We had him on the show before. Welcome to the show, Mike Upfold. Yeah, a little round of applause.
What up? What up?
How's it going, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. How about you guys?
Pretty good. We're doing
Can't
pretty
complain.
good. Just trying to, stay alive here with the quarantine going on.
I hear you.
So yeah, man, obviously we talk quite frequently, but we haven't filmed anything in a while. So, what have you been up to, and how have you been, dealing with COVID-19? How you been dealing with it?
Well, a lot of it's online. A lot of it is just kind of taking a step back. You got to be able to like reevaluate everything that you've been doing in business. So although it's a little bit difficult for some people, it's a positive. You can take time with your family, with your teammates. You can look at your results in the past year or two, and then just kind of see what you want to do moving forward after this all ends. So,
You took a step back from social media. You said
it's so much, man. Like there's so many negative things. Like even like I was saying to Brady the other day with this Aubrey or Abraham, the man who was killed. It's like, man, like there's so much negative stuff in the world right now. It's too much and like just it's on your feed like every day, every second of the day. The memes are good, but like just it's nice to step back and just live a real life.
There's another kid too, wasn't it? It was like Chris Reed or
Chris Reed, he it was a live or something, I think. Yeah,
it was yesterday.
That was last night.
That's insane.
Yeah. Sad.
Some sad and negative stuff out there.
It's crazy, and like everybody's recording things too. I know I posted like part of the video on my IG, like on my story, but like literally, like you could hear the whole conversation after the man was, shot and killed, and it's ridiculous. It's just too much sometimes, So it's nice to step back and just live a life and appreciate everything that you have, whether you're, you have family or you don't. For everybody who's safe and healthy, then it's definitely a blessing.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel now that you're back on it? Like, did you feel that you're going to be doing like, more social media breaks, like, in the next couple of years, or do you think it was just like a one-time thing?
I mean, I feel like the more successful I am as a person and the brand, the less I want to use it. Like when I left it the first time, people were like, "Oh my God, what happened to you? What about the brand? Like, no, don't leave us." I'm like, bro, I'm not going anywhere. Like, this is just, I want to relax, So I think even just the more things that happen on social media and just on the web, I think people forget about how important it is to have a face-to-face and appreciate somebody's work. You see so many, let's say you see so many videos and it's hard to tell which one's good. You might not watch all of them. So many music videos, so many album artworks. It's just too many. Everything's flooded. So if you could really work on your craft and make it perfect, I mean, the best deals that I've had were in person. It was never over Instagram or Facebook. So I think it's important to work on that in-person aspect.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess for the people that don't really know Northside Entertainment or Mike Upfold, do you want to just give them a short little like rundown of like your career and maybe how this pandemic has affected your everyday work life?
Yeah, so what I do, so I started 3 years ago booking artists local in the city, so Toronto, and then it went from booking them to helping them in the studio, and then it was kind of like an everyday thing with these artists. There was about 4 of them, so then I got into management. From management, it went to booking them shows and going on tour. After the first year and a half, I was like, okay, let's try to do our own tours, our own shows in the city while managing. So currently we have a music agency. So we do tours, we can manage, we have production, kind of like a full house.
Full house, yeah. That's kind of like the same with us when it comes to putting everything together. We feel like, certain things just go hand in hand. And, if we have like a specialty in that area, that's kind of like, we kind of put them together.
Gives people more options.
Just give them more options. Instead of being like, I can't do that for you.
No, it's good. And you guys are lucky you have 3 people, right? So for me, starting was like definitely difficult because there was just one, you got to think about like you can either be the master of one or the jack of trades. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still difficult to this day too to be able to put your focus. Like let's say if I have a tour coming on, I got to be able to focus my energy on this tour. But I still have other clients, still have other things going on. So it's difficult to be 100% in one thing and still be 100% in another. You know, and that's especially the COVID thing too. You got to think about there's so many. Obviously, there's no live music. There's no in-person entertainment. So I had to step back and learn how to do more things online. A lot of, reading and writing just to make my approach better, and spell checking things that I wouldn't have done before. There's a lot of things, so.
Yeah. So is there any new like skills that you've picked up to kind of help further like, I guess, because I know for us, for instance, like our company is very hands-on and being like very interactive with people, versus like being able to kind of do things online. Like there are some projects we can take online, like this one, for instance, but is there anything like new that might help your I guess your work life kind of improve for something that if this does happen again, if that makes sense? Yeah.
The best thing definitely was financials, like learning about how to save money, how to make money, even just like taxes, what to do with your money once you double it, triple it, where to invest it into. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, before money, I feel like the more money you have is the more money you make, because you're in that that mind state,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like now a lot of people have been worried about not making money, and there's a lot of people who are not making money because they can't. But I try to flip it into how can I make money during these times, and how can I invest it, and what can I use, how can I save it, what can I use it for, stuff like that.
Yeah. And what I like, sorry, Dan, what I like too is that like now, at least for like financials, I feel like at least for me, because I've like tried to at least a little bit, get more financial literacy and more knowledge. Now I have you have the time. So like before you'd be so concerned, oh, I got to pay for this, I got to pay for that.
Yeah.
Now you're like, oh, okay, well, I mean, now I don't really have, well, you still have your daily things to pay for, but you're not, you're not taking maybe that extra money that you had and spending. You're like, okay, well, now what are some smart ways that I can use this money and, double it and triple it like you were talking about. So I think now's a good time, definitely to learn about finances for sure.
Well, this whole situation also really shows like the importance of multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
So were you able to come up with any different types of streams of income during this time, like brainstorming or
100%, yeah. I mean, the labels and the artists that we work with, especially in the States, they have, more music than I could ever imagine. So you got to think about it. If somebody has more music and my job as an agent, you got to think about there's future deals, music videos, albums, singles, websites that need to be done. Yeah. So I feel like it's weird, even like just in this time I've made more money than I was before. And I not even just think, I know for a fact. So there's more money being made. I guess people have the time, but I can ask the right questions. Like, okay, can I do this for you? And, if I know somebody has a full project, there's, you're going to need lawyers to contact. You're going to need album art. You're going to need production. So if you think about it, okay, how can I get paid off of this, or how can I assist this artist, right? Yeah. And if I'm working with about 5 or 6 of them, you can add that up and ask the right questions for each team. And then, everybody needs the same thing when it comes to releases or upcoming events, right? So.
Yeah. Do you find that well, because there's especially for like the music industry, like live shows and concerts, like artists aren't touring. Do you find because of that, like the projects that you're working on with multiple people, do you find that they're getting done just quicker because everyone's a little bit more focused and they have less distractions?
I think I feel like people appreciate each other more. So I don't know if people have more time. I know, my team is still extremely busy, and you guys are still pretty busy too. But I think people appreciate the phone calls more, and it's like, okay, we're all going through the same thing. So, when I call and reach out, it's not like, okay, Mike, yeah, we'll talk about it later or whatever. It's like, okay, well, maybe he needs our help because he's going through this right now. So let's just give him 5 minutes and see if it works out. So I think people are kind of coming together as as one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good perspective. I like that. So,
well, do you want to keep on the lines of like you're talking about the online the concerts?
right? Yeah. Okay, we can.
So
talk
like, I don't know if have you seen like you obviously saw Tori's online concert, right?
Yes, yeah. Quarantine radio or
Quarantine radio, and then
too.
he also hosted like an online concert. So if you think about it, it's a pretty smart way to, I don't know, like if you wanted to sell tickets for that or just generate income during quarantine. But do you see I don't know, after this maybe artists hosting these more often just for people that, I don't know, can't make concerts or not, or like certain concerts aren't easily accessible, or because like after we're gonna have to be social distancing a lot, so it seems like a viable option to do like online concerts.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to it. In my opinion, I think it's a great idea. You don't want to overexpose yourself too. Like if you're doing 10 concerts during the quarantine and then nobody's going to want to see you after quarantine, right? So they've already seen all your stuff. But for DJs, it's cool to get like get your music out there, get 100 live viewers and then maybe 200, 300, 400. And then even the thing with Timbaland and Swizz Beatz too, they're doing verses. So I think that's like a cool aspect of this whole music thing. But concerts is good, but if you overexpose yourself, I think in the long run you could lose money because once the shows come back, I think people are going to be paying for online concerts.
Yeah, because also too, like nothing beats the in-person kind of experience.
Yeah.
So I think everyone will still gravitate towards the live shows either way.
Yeah.
If you can do it like I know Travis Scott teamed up with Twitch, I think, and he did like a concert. I think if you can do some sort of brand deal so there's longevity in it, instead of just hopping on Instagram and doing 5 concerts for free, which is okay, but I mean, in the long run, now Twitch and Travis Scott have this relationship. So if Travis Scott wants to do another performance, he can, and he'll probably get paid a lot for it. You know what I mean? So if you have those resources or something like that, then I definitely use them.
That was the one that was on Fortnite, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fortnite. Sorry.
And you know what's funny about that?
Cool.
It was really cool, but he also, and what's smart about this too is like he used a lot of like his older songs. Like I think he played like Goosebumps, Highest in the Room, and then it was all leading up to just that one song that came out. I forget what it was called.
The new one that he has, or
the new one that he has.
The Scots, was that what it was called?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. It was all just like leading up to that one song, but it was really hype. Like I watched it.
You're getting into it, right?
Now was it like only at one time, or could you like log on and everyone see it?
I think it was one.
There was 3 different. Yeah, it was it was like one day, but at 3 different times for, I guess, different time zones. So I mean, like if you wanted to watch it at like 5 a.m, you could. If you missed like the 9 o'clock show. But yeah, like it's kind of just once for every time zone. So there's probably about 3 shows. Yeah.
Just like log in and then you'll be playing and then the concert would start, or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It is really cool. It's a very like new media approach to to putting like your stuff out there. And and then what you said about like the brand deals, definitely that was really sweet that he locked that in.
I honestly think that we can probably, like, just based on like Travis being the first person, I can see other artists, like if it may not be with Twitch or Fortnite, but maybe with other games that come out, or maybe like, I don't know, like I'm not, a game that's similar to Fortnite that could come out, or they could potentially do something.
I was surprised that Drake didn't do one yet, because he's like the most social media friendly guy, I guess, in the music industry right now. So either when his album comes out, I feel like he could be doing something like that. Justin Bieber sort of does it like here and there. So I mean, even with what is it called? The dancing app where everybody's like
TikTok?
Yes, yeah. So if you can like something.
You just dated yourself there, buddy.
I'm not that old, man. I'm not that old. But TikTok, yeah. If you can make something and you can make like a hit, I guess, because now's the time to do it. If you can make something that's catchy, then definitely have a dancer or find a dancer and put it on TikTok, and I can almost guarantee you that it's going to take off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what Drake pretty much did with QC Slide, right? I mean, that's pretty much like a TikTok song. So
yeah,
yeah, I think that's definitely a good strategy for artists to implement.
We're probably going to see a lot of, since 6ix9ine's back, we're going to see like a lot of him doing a lot of that kind of stuff, man.
coming
I
back
think we'll be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, he's supposed to go live today. Yeah.
3 p.m.
I think so, something like that. I think it's Eastern.
I won't be tuning in.
You won't be?
I will not be tuning in.
I feel like I honestly feel like that's gonna break, because I know Tori broke the Instagram live record. I feel like this, like 6ix9ine's live, will break that record. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Because this is his first time going live, right? Since he got out of jail.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I feel like his situation is he's still good. He's still, going to make money off of whatever he wants to. Obviously, he still has the same attitude. And that's like another thing with social media too, right? This man, I mean, it's none of my business. Whatever he did, he did. But you got to think we're like accepting certain like behavior, which is just not acceptable in, I guess, any culture. Like if I do something for you or you do something for me, I shouldn't go behind anybody's back, and then to be famous off of that, and to still make money off of that, it's just I don't know, it's kind of backwards for me. But other people, feel differently. But if you're,
I guess like
you're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your morals, right? So
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what artists like going forward will actually work with him to make music now, because it's
I was thinking about that the other day too. I was like, what artists? Because I saw like a pop up of Nicki Minaj and 6ix9ine's song. And I was like, hey,
it wasn't Fifi, is it? Or
I think
it was
so.
Fifi. Okay.
I was like, oh, who's gonna work with this guy now? Like, I don't understand who's gonna, because like, I don't know, it's controversial. It's like you can make a lot. I feel like you can still make a lot of money doing songs with him, but at the same time, it's like you want to associate with him after like his history.
Yeah, it's like I think the thing is he'll make money off of the new coming people. So like he can't work with like the people, I guess, who he's already ruined the relationship. So there's Nicki Minaj, Kanye West, I think Trippie Redd, or there's a whole bunch of people, right? So anybody who's current now, or any of the old school people who were kind of interested, like Fat Joe, 50 Cent, he won't be able to get those people to work with him. But in terms of who's lit right now and who might be lit next year, then I feel like people will be interested in working with him. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to make $2 million off this kid just for hopping on a song with him, it's going to go platinum for sure. Yeah. I can guarantee you the first couple of songs are going to go, through the group. So he's probably going to be like, yo, look, I'll give you $500K up front or whatever. Our label will give you $500K just to work with us, because they know it's going to be tough to get people to work with them. So the cash is going to be thrown around. So either it's, do you want to make money, or do you want to respect your culture or what you stand for? There's tough.
Yeah. What also, I mean, even in a sense, COVID-19 would make that situation interesting too, because a lot of artists need the money right now because they don't have a lot of money coming in. So that, like what you just said, that $500K from the label is going to be pretty enticing for artists to take, just to make a song with him, right? So.
And even as like a concert like promoter too, I thought about it. I don't have the money to book this guy, but I feel like I would still book him. I've never been like in his situation. I have people in that situation. And I have people on the other side of it who've had people rat them out. But in terms of making money, and just strictly business, so I don't have to get to know this kid, I would still book him. Yeah. If you were to go on tour next week, I would book him, because I swear to God, there's so many people who will go to a show.
Yeah. Oh, easily. He's got tons of fans all over.
He definitely so.
Yeah. Speaking, that actually transitions well, because speaking of that, on that same topic, I feel like, well, we see this a lot. I'm sure you've seen it a lot, where a lot of artists and stuff, they'll be like, they'll have a strong social media presence, they'll have so-and-so million followers, but then when it comes to actually going out there and selling hard tickets to a show, that doesn't necessarily happen. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that. If real, you have social media clout, you have a social media following, if that really is a real telltale sign of actual like success, and if there's an artist out there who's struggling right now, to sell tickets, is there anything from your experience that you can tell them that would be able to help them out to really, drive traffic to their shows?
So, yeah, social media is not, it's like, it can get you anything else but bodies into the venue. And I
Yeah.
see it all the time. It doesn't matter who it is. I've seen people with 500K to a million, and like the venues maybe have 300 people, but they have like 30 openers, you know? So I think what's important is definitely get to know your fans. Streaming is really, really, really important, and how you market yourself. If you have money, you can spend money on one thing, and you could maybe, let's say you want to spend money on Spotify promotion. Okay, well, you're going to get your streams up, but you want to be able to spend the money in the right way. So if you have an upcoming concert or tour, instead of getting more streams, put that money into putting your flyer or whatever it is on Spotify for your next show. So if you have 400,000 monthly listeners, at least a quarter of them to half of them are gonna come across that you have a tour going on. And they might see that you're going to be in their hometown next week or the week after or the next month. So if you are struggling to sell tickets, then it's really important where you spend your money, 100%. I wouldn't worry about, don't worry about posting it on social media. Don't worry about having your friends repost it. It's really like you gotta, face to face, you really gotta either DM people, just DM 100 people or even more. Set your flyer, and we're gonna get it. They're gonna open it up, and even just you gotta spend your money in the right way, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Do you guys want to just take a quick break?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool.
we'll be back.
Back soon.
Hey guys, we just took a quick little, a Zoom intermission break right there. So we're back at it. So before the break, we're just talking about, how necessarily an artist's social media following doesn't really, can't always equate to, physical tickets and physical bodies in a, for a concert or for, event that you're throwing. So Mike, on that same topic, I know you mentioned a couple good points before, but for you, I mean, you book talent, you book artists, you're very involved with that. What do you look for when you're booking an artist? What makes you want to throw a show for them? Because I think that's pretty important when it comes to any upcoming artist who's looking to get booked.
I think the most important thing is I got to see the numbers match up. So I don't care if you want to be the opener, the headline, or whatever. If your numbers match and you have, it's not even about confidence. I know people have confidence, you're an artist, but we have to see the numbers make sense. So if you have 20K followers and you post a flyer, and unfortunately, yes, I'm looking for it, but you have 4 comments. It doesn't make sense, but I'm not going to judge you there. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go to your Facebook. Okay, your Facebook looks good. And then I'm going to go to your Spotify. If you have like 300,000 monthly listeners, but you have like 500 streams on one of these things, one of these songs, it doesn't make sense. So you got to really, you can fake it till you make it, but you really can't. So your numbers really have to add up. You really have to be, I don't care if your numbers are high or low, just make sure that you're consistent with your numbers. So that when you tell me you're going to bring in 50 people, you'll bring in 50 people. It's not like I've seen people tell me they're going to sell out the whole venue and they bring 20 people. Venue holds 500, so, and it doesn't matter whose album you're on. It really doesn't matter. If you have the larger companies will book you based off of those numbers. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. So that's the same thing I'm looking for as well.
Do you look for obviously like previous performances? Do you look at like ticket sales and how many people they brought in and stuff like that?
So it depends. Like if you're an opener, then that matters because I'm gonna ask, okay, how many tickets can you sell? If you can sell, I've known people that I've never listened to before or never even known existed, not to disrespect them, but I just never knew about them. They've sold more tickets than the people who are verified or almost verified and, oh, I'm on this album, I'm on that album. So really gotta, what I look for is just making sure that numbers, at least ticket sales, can add up, you know, and just
I feel like a lot of people don't understand is those like not verified artists, the ones that are just, I don't know, kind of on the come up. They have a solid fan base.
Yeah.
And like when you have a solid fan base, you have more. Yeah, it's a larger likelihood of them coming to your concerts and buying your music and streaming music. So.
And it's with like the same thing I was talking about before. Is like you got to be confident with the face to face. You got to be confident with like going up to people like, yo, look, I have a concert next Tuesday or next week. Come to my show. You know, like when I'm nervous about doing that, I'm like, yo, look, you could do it. Like it's not that hard. Yeah, it's like nerve wracking, but like as soon as you do it, it doesn't matter if it's DM or you just meet somebody on the road. At the end of the day, that's how you get your name out there. That's just how it is. You know. So if you can really sell, if you can sell tickets, I don't care, but just stick to your word. You know, if you can do 20 tickets, then I expect 20 people. You know, so
Well, I mean, that's exactly what Dell did. Like another local artist that we're good friends with. He's really talented as well. He had a concert at the Drake, the Underground, the Drake. I think it was in the summertime, and he just hit us up through DM. Was like, hey, like what you guys are doing. I'm doing a show at the Drake on Saturday. Why don't you guys pull up and come through and we can meet each other. And that's exactly what we did. We met each other there, and then now we have a relationship now where we talk and done a couple of shoots with him. So it just shows you like just taking that initial approach works so well. I take that chance.
You got to think about it too. Like for any up and coming artists, is that this is there's like money involved in it, and I know it gets like a little bit nerve wracking when you think about the stage or, you don't want to embarrass yourself. But when you do a show, obviously you want to, if you release an album or you have a few songs, that's what you're there for. But there's serious money involved, right? So there's a big difference. If you're selling tickets at $20, if you sell 2 of them, then, right? But if you sell 100 of them, you get what I'm saying? So if you try to just break it down and just do the math, if you're able to step outside of your comfort zone and approach people, DM people, meeting people at a party, whatever it is, it's really impressive to see the little guys or anybody bring a full crowd without myself or any other major label having to bring people. And that makes us want to work with you again. So it's like, okay, we spent all this money on promotion, but they really brought in these people. There's been times where I've been doing shows and I get a call like 4 days before the concert, like, man, I've only sold like 20 tickets. You know what I mean? So, and that doesn't make anybody want to work with you. And it's just, you got to stick to your word. And the more that you can stick to your word in the business, then the better off you're going to be, and financially as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like that just goes with like any industry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I guess we can. I want to move into kind of like after this quarantine is over with. Do you see like the effects? I guess that's happening right now for the music industry because of COVID-19. Do you see the post quarantine? Do you see the industry changing or adapting any new practices, or is it you think it's just going to go back to how it was before this all started?
It's hard to say. I know like safety measures are going to be different for like, let's say tours or venues, even festivals too. That's going to be the biggest change. Festivals, I don't know what they're going to decide to do. I really don't know, but there's going to be, I think they're going to demand certain things, because you got to think about it too. People are traveling from different states, different provinces, different countries. And this may very well happen again. You never know. Bless you. You never know, right? So I think when it comes to releasing music and kind of just day-to-day stuff, I don't think it's going to change really. It doesn't really need to. But in terms of going out, meeting fans, I mean, you got to think about it. How many times have you like dabbed somebody and you just kept moving? You know what I mean? And you don't think about it, but like we were doing that at the beginning of the year, just keeping it moving, touching stuff outside, and then the whole world shut down. So if you have 1 million different people traveling into one little space, you got to think about that. Like, you got to make some serious changes. So,
yeah. I think I was even thinking like, festivals, like you think of something like Rolling Loud, there's like, upwards of 20 plus thousand people there. I'm thinking like how do you even like systematically like, like not segment, but like, make sure
Provide
that
people, yeah.
provide people with that safety because there's just so many people. So I'm thinking maybe I could see them like, having a cap on the capacity, maybe, I don't know, like sectioning off with like barriers, like, there's going to be a certain amount of people allowed in this section and then vice versa in others. But yeah, it's going to be weird. It's definitely going to be interesting to see.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they held off doing festivals for like a year.
Yeah,
Next year,
I
when they
wouldn't be
come back.
surprised either.
It is going back here February. I know that. In terms of like, yeah, it's going to be a year, and then even when the year comes up, I think there's going to be. They can't hold a cap because they still want to make money. So if they've already sold, I mean, if you want to make $250,000 in a night, if you're an individual, whether you're an artist or you're the promoter, you're still going to want to do that, but you might have to spend more money on just like safety,
Safety,
maybe
yeah.
more security, more barriers, more doctors. So I think the income is going to have to be, or just what you're going to spend it on is going to be different. You're going to see a lot more. I think safety barriers when you check into a festival, and you might see more hand sanitizer stations. You might see more water stations. Yeah, and I think everybody collectively has to just be aware that wash your hands, be clean. Keep
Off on
your
anybody.
exactly. If you
Yeah.
can't keep distance, it's kind of hard at a festival, but just to be clean and just take care of yourself and take care of people around you. And for the promoters, it's a huge deal. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be a change, but I think, why, like anything, we'll get used to it. And it'll become like the new normal at the end of the day. Right. So,
yeah.
um, yeah. So I guess another thing I want to talk to you about is, was there any, do you have any lessons or anything that you've learned personally that you can see helping you, once we're able to get out of this quarantine and we're back to be able to go to, face-to-face interaction in everyday business life?
Definitely. Really got to think about traveling, who you're
Mm,
traveling with. Like, before I used to travel, I really didn't care. Greyhound, Spirit Airlines, you know,
wherever, yeah.
this Airbnb, like I didn't care. I just wanted to like make sure the moves are getting done. And I'm glad that I got 3 years to do it. But now it's like, okay, cool. You have the money, you've made the money, you have a brand. How are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to take care of people
Mm,
around you? So you really got to make sure, you got to think twice, before you do something, before you go for a meeting. If you shake somebody's hand, I think everybody's going to be thinking the same thing. You
Yeah,
gotta watch,
yeah, like, oh, do I shake your hand? No.
like, there's certain stuff like that people are going to be really self-aware about. But definitely just keeping healthy and keeping your distance if it's needed, and just like be clean
Be
if you
clean.
can.
be clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be clean.
Simple but important.
Yeah.
Be
Be
clean.
clean. So I guess our last point that we wanted to touch on was, there's a lot of people coming out of high school and university. A lot of our friends, we're just finishing school this year. Graduation ceremonies are being canceled. And, there's a lot of people that probably want to get started in their careers and, want to apply for jobs. And I guess diving into this topic of like the music industry, is there like any advice you could give to like these I guess post grad students that are, or I guess adults now, that are wanting to get involved into the music industry, even though, I guess post quarantine? Is there any advice you could give to them?
Definitely do your research. What I wish I did more was take a little bit more time to research what I'm doing or what I'm jumping into. Because once you jump into a situation, at the beginning it's okay, but the deeper you go into the business or to what you're doing, is the
Yeah.
more involved you're going to be with it. So it could be positive or negative. So if you want to come into any industry, especially this one, do the research. Make sure you know sort of what you want to do. You'll never fully know what you want to do until years later, but do research, find people who inspire you. And I think it's really important yourself at the beginning. I'm not saying be selfish. I'm not saying be hidden, but you got to really build your focus. And even if you're a focused person, there's a lot of distractions. There's everything in industry. There really is. You know, you can be excited about, okay, look, I want to go to LA just to say I went to LA. You know, just for a new manager. But that's not necessarily what you should be doing. If you know, if you can save that money and put it into a new website, or if you want to do a promotion video, it sounds boring at the beginning, but when you're 4 years into the game and you have money and all you have is pictures and, you know, stuff like this and that with celebrities, it's not going to mean you really got to build a foundation. Once you've built a foundation, make sure everything is done correctly, you know, the legal stuff, get a business name, and this way you're protected moving forward. And that's really attractive for employers, other people that you want to work with. It's like, okay, this person has their business together. They're serious about it. Maybe they don't have pictures with Jay-Z or Meek Mill, whatever. It's fine. I'm sure they'll get there. And that's what I think people who are older than myself and just who have been in the game long enough are really looking for.
I also think, like, you know, you hear the cliche, it's like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Do you find from your experience in the industry, do you think music in particular, it's very much an industry of, you know, you got to know the right people?
Yeah, at the beginning, it's what you know, because you got to know what you're doing, so that you don't get in trouble. But then once you are like just once you're in, you know, you'll know when you're in the game. You'll know when you have a solid amount of contacts, you have this amount of money saved up. Once you are in, then it's who you know, you know. But you're only going to meet who you know based off of what you know. You're not I'm not gonna meet the greatest A&R because you know what I mean, just because I got lucky. Maybe you know, at a dinner, but I'm not gonna be able to have a meeting with this person or somebody who I look up to. I'm not gonna have interaction if I don't know what I'm doing. So at the beginning, it's really about what you know, do your research, study, and then it becomes who you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree with that too. Yeah, it's a good point.
That was definitely a good finishing note.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a nice little nugget that I think a lot of people get a lot of value from, especially people who want to be like managers, A&Rs, promoters, all that. It's definitely key. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll end it there. I think we had a good talk. Mike, I want to say thank you again for coming on. Really appreciate it, sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, a little bit about, you know, how the music industry works and what, you know, artists and people who are in it right now can do to kind of stay afloat and really level up after this thing's over. So I really appreciate it, and yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks,
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Yes, thank you.